I'm Dave Bollwinkel, and my business is Coach on and off the court. I work with companies from 5 to 5,000, where the decision maker recognizes that by building better teamwork, he or she can improve the bottom line. Having spent 25 years as a college basketball coach, I didn't just study teamwork, I lived it and lived it in high-pressure crucibles. Dave Bollwinkel, Coach on and off the court.
How does that apply? Dig a little deeper in this room.
Everybody can contribute.
Everybody can contribute. The value of diversity. The best teams are made up of people with diverse skill sets. In this case, the skill dealt with ethnic or racial diversity, all right, or background, so you might know that. It's going to come up later on in this side of the page on something else. So the best teams have people with different skills. You have to value each one of those skills.
Can I make one suggestion that ties into what you're saying here? And some of you that have read Good to Great, where Collins talks about first who, then what, on the bus. And you need to decide who you want on the bus with you and who you want to get off the bus. But then you got to figure out who goes in what seat on the bus. And for those of you who read the book, do you remember what he said about what tasks you should give your best performers? Not the biggest problems, but the biggest opportunities. So I just throw that out as an aside, something to think about. When you're delegating responsibilities, things to be done, oftentimes we think about giving the biggest challenges to our best people, but he says give them the biggest opportunities because they'll accomplish more that way.
Time. All right, hold it right there. You guys can step off the log, just relax a second. What components of teamwork and leadership showed up in that activity? What parts of communication? Verbal, nonverbal, talking, and the listening part. Good, good. What other components of teamwork and leadership showed up there? Pardon me? Trust in what way? They wouldn't allow each other to fall off the log. Did any one of you start to teeter and somebody grab you? See, that's what you do as teammates. You help each other. See, as teammates have a responsibility to help everybody else on the team be successful, not just themselves. They don't have an opportunity to do that. They have a responsibility to do that.
What's the best way to build trust? Best way to build trust. Honesty. Good. What else? Communication. There are a lot of, hey, remember what I said earlier today? There's no one answer for most of the stuff we're going to talk about today. Keep going. Other things. Best way to build trust.
Live it.
Live it. How do you live it?
You do what you say you're going to do. Commit.
Loud.
Do what you say you're going to do.
Do what you say you're going to do. By the way, that's the same thing you're saying, Mike. He's just articulated a little bit different. I say keep your agreements. We're going to talk about that as we go along today. The best way to build trust is keep your agreements. Who's on the board? John Wooden. Okay, what did John Wooden accomplish as a coach? 10 national championships. Paul's correct. The most any other coach has won is 3, by the way. He won 10 national titles. He was like he makes Bill Gates look like an underachiever, all right, in terms of what he got accomplished. And he constructed something he called his pyramid of success. And I find it very interesting that, and by the way, he put this together over about a 20-year period of time, that the 2 cornerstones, industriousness and enthusiasm, would both fit onto this list. He has not skill qualities, but attitude attributes as his 2 cornerstones. We want to focus right now on this one, the team spirit one. And what you may or may not know, obviously, as a college basketball coach, or even as a young high school coach, I spent a lot of time studying other coaches, and certainly Coach Wooden. And so I know a little bit more about this pyramid and some of his approaches. He's had a definition for each of those. And he struggled with his definition for team spirit. Okay, he struggled with it. And these definitions would evolve. They're somewhat fluid. And eventually, this, over a 20-year period of time, this became the definition for team spirit. It originally was a willingness to sacrifice personal interests for the welfare of all. But one day he had an epiphany. And it was like, wow, there's got to be something more to this, because you heard someone else talking, and it was instead more than just a willingness, rather an eagerness to share personal to sacrifice personal interest for the welfare of all. That's what you're looking for in the people you work with. I often use the terms shared vision and being purpose-centered synonymously, because they in fact are what drive a company, a team, to make sure that there is a common purpose. And when I use the term purpose-centered, it's not just enough for the members of the team to understand the purpose and be committed to it, but the difficult part is the third part, using that purpose to drive their actions and behaviors. That's where teams, regardless of what profession, usually come up short. I used to say that the 3 C's of teamwork were commitment, communication, and cooperation, but I was mistaken. See, cooperation to me engenders the concept of doing what you're told to do, and it's not cooperation, it's collaboration that we're trying to get accomplished here. Getting people to work together to solve problems. So the 3 C's of teamwork are commitment, communication, and collaboration. William James said, "The greatest discovery of our generation is that you can change your circumstances by changing your attitude." Do you bring the right attitude to cultivating leadership and teamwork skills? And General Colin Powell, we're talking about leadership, and he said, "Leadership is the art of accomplishing more than the science of management says is possible." Now, we're focusing on teamwork, but you can't talk about teamwork without talking about leadership and vice versa. They are separate entities, but they fit so closely together that you can't talk about one without talking about the other. Do me a favor, take a look at the list. Take a look at the list. Decide, is it a skill set or is it an attitude? Is it an attitude or a skill? Decide what it is. And we'll go through it. Just take a look there. And some of them may be both. Some of them may be both. Punctuality, attitude or skill?
Attitude.
Vision, attitude or skill? Attitude, skill? Maybe both? Both? Okay, good. Positive attitude with leadership attitude. Experience? Skill, yeah. Integrity? Attitude? Good at relationship building?
Skill.
Understands business model.
Understands business model, skill. Innovative?
Skill.
That's a mix.
Both.
Maybe both, okay. Articulate?
Skill.
Driven? Attitude. Tenacious?
Attitude.
Patient?
Attitude.
Honesty?
Attitude.
Compassionate?
Attitude.
Approachable?
Attitude.
Am I making my point?
Yes.
Almost invariably, the most important things you would look for deal with attitude. All right? As Jim Collins said in Built to Last or Good to Great, you know, first who, then what? Who do you want on the bus with you? You can teach them the skill set later on. Thank you for taking the time to watch this demo. If I can be a resource to you or your company in the realm of building better teamwork, either through a training or through a keynote, please contact me at the numbers listed on the screen.